payment and settlement system. This is basically a rail infrastructure that will help African countries to be able to trade using our own national currencies. We are basically saying no to going first to America or Europe before we trade amongst ourselves. So we are basically going to implementing this system. There's already progress that has been made, especially between Nigeria and Ghana, whereby Ghana can actually export its goods to Nigeria, and the seller in Ghana will receive payment in CD, and the buyer in Nigeria will actually basically send the payment in Naira. And we are now rolling out this system throughout the continent. The bank is backing that system with a 3 billion facility, and this is actually going to save about 5 billion in transaction cost every year. This is the money that we don't need to be going to America or Europe. We need to use this money in Zanzibar, in Africa, to develop our economy. And we look forward to the support from the private sector to actually start using the system, and also to inform your central banks and the commercial banks to start using the system. As Afrexim Bank, when there's a problem that is affecting the continent, we don't just sit down and say we are a bank. We know the reasons why we were established. We are essentially a crisis bank. We intervene when there's a crisis. When other financial institutions are leaving the continent, are saying Africa has got high risks, Africa is not bankable, this is when your bank, Afrexim Bank, will be coming in. That is why we are here in Zanzibar, because we know that there are challenges. When there was COVID, we actually noted that the whole world was getting together. Africa was being isolated. We stepped in, we provided $9 billion to support governments and companies to be able to keep on doing business. Now we have the Ukraine crisis, and many people need fertilizer, need cereals, need fuel. We basically decided to intervene, and we've provided more than $5 billion to support African countries and companies to import the products they need. So these are some of the examples that I'm just giving to show the support that Afrexim Bank has been providing. We have also put in place what we call the Africa Trade Exchange, which is basically a B2B, B2G platform that will also help us to be able to trade under the AFCFTA, but we have repurposed this facility to be able to import the goods that we need as a result of the Ukraine crisis. So your fertilizer, fuel, cereals, we are now aggregating the importation of those products using this Africa Trade Exchange. That will actually help us to get more buying power, and will be bringing these products into the continent at a cheaper cost. So the fertilizers that you need for agriculture will be coming into the continent cheaply through the Africa Trade Exchange. I also want to highlight one of the main problems why Africa has not been trading with each other. It's lack of access to trade and market information. Right now, before I came to Zanzibar, I didn't know that you have got all these wonderful investment opportunities. And somebody sitting in Egypt, where I'm based right now, does not even know that there are these opportunities. Somebody sitting probably in Nigeria does not know what you offer in terms of the cereals, the blue economy, the tourism, the precious stones. So we need to do more in terms of exchanging trade and market information. This is basically what will help us to generate the trust that we need. If you don't know me, if I don't know you, we will not be able to trade. I will not be able to invest. So this is the starting point. We are here now to start that process of sharing trade and market information so that we can do trade and investment deals together. And the bank has actually put in the Intra-African Trade Fair as one of the instruments that will close the gap in terms of trade and market information. We did the first one in Cairo, the second one in South Africa, Durban. The third one will be in Cote d'Ivoire next year from 21 to 27 November. I would like to invite all of you to actually come to the trade fair and be part of that exciting opportunity so that we can generate the investment and business deals that we need. So these are some of the key issues that I just wanted to share with you. Before I close, I would like to thank Honorable Vice President and all the investors who are in this room for giving us this opportunity to partner with Zanzibar to be able to promote trade and investment. This is basically something that is very practical. At Afrexim Bank, we focus on implementation. We don't want to keep on talking. Time for talking is over, and we believe that even though there are challenges, I think we believe that we will be able to conquer those challenges working together. So with these few remarks, I would like to thank you very much for your attention.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm sure we can do a bigger round of applause than that to Afrexim Bank for that wonderful support and collaboration. As you were speaking, I was contemplating on an adage that we have in Africa that if you want to go fast, you want to go alone. But if you want to go further, you want to go together. And this is why the Zanzibar Trade and Investment Forum 2022 aims at showcasing the Zanzibar's investment opportunity. And this forum has been organized by Afrexim Bank. We've just heard from the representative, but also Zanzibar Investment Promotion Authority. Can we put our hands together for ZIPA? East African Business Council. Can we put our hands again for East African Business Council? But also Zanzibar National Chamber of Commerce. Can we put our hands together for Zanzibar National Chamber of Commerce? And we are totally delighted and honored to be sponsored by PBZ, People's Bank of Zanzibar. Let's put our hands again together for PBZ. As it has been mentioned, the theme for the forum is promoting sustainable trade and investment under the African Continental Free Trade Area. I would now like to welcome to speak to us, giving us the remarks, Mr. Ali Amour, who is the chairman of the Zanzibar National Chamber of Commerce, but also the board member of East African Business Council, on behalf of Ms. Angelina Ngalula, the chairperson who could not make it in person. Ladies and gentlemen, let's put our hands together for Mr. Ali Amour.
Thank you very much. As stated, my name is Ali Amour. I'm the board member of East African Business Council. I happen to be the chairperson of Zanzibar National Chamber of Commerce. But I'm here today at this specific event to represent and read remarks from Ms. Angelina Ngalula, who is the chairman of East African Business Council. I'll read as it is, but I'll make some smart amendment to fit in with the current situation. Your Excellency, Hamed Suleiman Abdullah, Second Vice President of Zanzibar, who is here today to represent His Excellency Dr. Hussein Ali Mwinyi, the President of Zanzibar and Chairman of Zanzibar Revolution Council, Honorable Mudrik Ramadan Soraga, Minister of State, President Office, Labor, Economic Affairs and Investment, Honorable Omar Said Shaban, Minister of Trade and Industrial Development, Dr. Genmo Zanamwe, Head Trade Facilitation of Intra-Africa Trade in Afrexim Bank, Mr. Sharif Ali Sharif, Executive Director, Zanzibar Investment Promotion Authority, Principal Secretaries who are here, Member of Media, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, protocol is observed. Assalamu alaikum. Your Excellency, we are here today pleased to welcome all participants and appreciate you for honoring our invitation to attend this landmark trade and investment forum in the Spice Island of Zanzibar. Your Excellency, your presence here demonstrates the deep commitment of Zanzibar President to strengthening public-private partnership and deepen trade and investment relation between Zanzibar, East African Community, and continental Africa. This will definitely generate economic growth, create jobs, and increase prosperity. For centuries, Zanzibar served as an international trading hub. The East African Business Council, the East African Business Community is committed to supporting the President's vision of transforming Zanzibar into the world-best blue economy, tourist destination, and tourism and cultural hub. He has also demonstrated a clear path of guiding Zanzibar to become African top cyber island and international financial center. Your Excellency, at this junction, we would like to commend Zanzibar Trade and Investment Forum organizers, the Afri-Exim Bank, in partnership with Zanzibar Investment Promotion Authority, ZIPA, the East African Business Council, and Zanzibar National Chamber of Commerce. This two-day event is aimed at promoting trade, investment, and finance prospects between Zanzibar and the rest of Africa in the context of Africa Continental Free Trade Agreement. It also offers a platform for delegates to chart out solutions that spur trade and investment, business and economic reliance amid global shocks. Your Excellency, Africa contributes only 3% to global trade. Both intra-Africa trade and intra-Africa East African trade are less than 20%. On a positive note, the African Continental Trade Area is said to boost inter-Africa trade through the gradual elimination of tariff and non-tariff barriers on goods and services. The Africa Continental Free Trade Area brings on board a market of 1.3 billion and a combined gross domestic product of US dollar 3.4 trillion. The implementation of Africa Continental Free Trade Agreement will create a 450 billion US dollars in potential income gains and lift over 100 million Africans out of poverty. Your Excellency, indeed, the Marshall Plan to accelerate Zanzibar economic growth and improve the resilience against global disruptions is to deepen supply chain integration and increase trade with East Africa and Africa in general. We at East African Business Council urge African government to formulate a continental local content policy to ensure Africa companies take part in mega infrastructure projects in order to hasten economic development and retain capital and jobs in Africa. We also appeal to the revolutionary government of Zanzibar to have a special industrial and business parks with dedicated trade facilitation channels for Zanzibar top 100 exports to the East African Community and African Continental Free Trade Area. Your Excellency, the East African Business Council, for one, is dedicated to promoting borderless East Africa in order to attract more investment and commerce. We will continue to work with the government to develop policies to improve market access and trade facilitation for East African Community exports to the continental Africa. We will also collaborate with the banks to develop trade finance option and guarantee schemes. Our vision is to invest in Zanzibar and see the African Continental Free Trade Agreement happen to be able to trade across African borders. We look forward to the rich discussion today on blue economy potential, financing for recovery, tourism and real estate, business environment, agriculture, and food security. Lastly, our clarion call to you all is to invest in Zanzibar and let us buy African products and build our African continent. Your Excellency, we thank you very much for joining us today. We thank you all for honoring our invitation. Thank you very much. Asante sana.
Mr. Ali Amour is the chairman of the Zanzibar National Chamber of Commerce, but is also the board member of East African Business Council. A bigger round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, for that eye-opening remark. Honorable Second Vice President, honorable ministers, members of the High Table, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I now have the pleasure to invite to speak to us Honorable Mudrik Ramadan Soraga, who is the Minister of State, President's Office, Labor, Economic Affairs and Investment, and thereafter to invite you, our guest of honor, the Second Vice President, to address this forum. Ladies and gentlemen, Honorable Mudrik Ramadani Soraga. Karibu.
Honorable guest of honor, Your Excellency Hemed Suleiman Abdullah, the Second Vice President of Zanzibar, who's here representing the President of Zanzibar, Honorable Ministers and Deputy Ministers present, Principal Secretaries, and all other government officials gracing this business event, Dr. Gainmo Zanamwe, Head of Trade Facilitation, Intra-Africa Trade Bank, Afro-Exim Bank, the Chairman of the Zanzibar National Chamber of Commerce, distinguished participants, invited guests, members of the media, Assalamu alaikum. On the outset, I would like to take this opportunity to first of all welcome you all to our beautiful islands here in Zanzibar, but most importantly to extend our sincere gratitude to our guest of honor for accepting and agreeing to grace this particular occasion. It has been a very fascinating last 2 years for the islands, and we've had a series of engagements both on the local level as well as on the international level. Various dialogues have been taking place, and it's safe to say that the investment agenda for the island is on a very positive trajectory. So I want to take this opportunity to welcome our partners, the Afro-Exim Bank, on our beautiful islands. I know most of you are probably here for the first time, but rest assured that Zanzibar is ready and open for business. Historically, we have been a very engaging member of the East African community, the SADC, as well as on the continental level through the AU. It's a privilege and an honor for us to be able to host this event and be on the global stage. There's a lot that we have going on, and we don't want to keep it to ourselves. We want to share with the global community as well as the regional community. I was very fortunate the past week or so. I was able to take part in the AU Summit on the Africa Continental Free Trade Area in Niger. This was my first time to engage on that level, and I must say it was a very eye-opening experience for me personally. And some of the statistics that I had from that meeting are actually very staggering. And I know here my brother had already mentioned about the level of intra-Africa trade being only 18%. There are 52 member states within the African Union. We have a population of about 1.2 billion people. But our level of importation, just on importation of basic goods and services, amounts to the tune of $50 billion. That's $50 billion of capital, of investment that could have been circulated right here on the continent. So these are things that we really have to put into perspective about what the direction we want to take in terms of promoting intra-Africa trade. So if you take those statistics, if you take the framework that we have, with inter-Africa trade alone, we could be sufficient enough when it comes to manufacturing, when it comes to services, when it comes to offering financial facilities, and all other kinds of investment opportunities can be developed right here on the continent. Those are jobs for our young men and women. Those are opportunities for improving our economies, and the multiplier effect, the value chain, there's no end to the limits of what we can achieve if we actually follow through on the inter-Africa trade agenda through the AFTCA. And the good news from that meeting, when we came out, there are two instruments that are going to be availed very soon. One is the electronic tariff, and then the other is the manual for rules of origin. And I think this is, these two instruments would be of very great, will provide broader opportunities for us to understand now how we can engage on these markets. There's a huge disconnect that we have to cover. In West Africa, in East Africa, North or South, we're still not speaking the same language. I was in Niger, like I said, but I haven't seen any product coming out from the East African market. And I'm pretty sure here in East Africa, we haven't seen any products coming out from Niger, from Egypt, or from other parts of the continent. So these are things that we really ought to have a very close discussion to try and see how we can effectively capitalize on the market opportunities that are available. And I'm happy that Afro-Exim has decided to engage at this level to bring this event right here on our beautiful islands of Zanzibar. And we hope that with the deliberations that will be taking place, that we can be able to kind of set the tone now of where we want to take our investment agenda, our trade initiatives at the global, at the regional, but as well as at the global level. As I'd mentioned, we are open for business. There's a tremendous level of political will from the very top. Most of you, I think, were present at the Dubai Expo, and you had the opportunity to listen to Her Excellency the President when she made a key statement saying that Tanzania is open for business. And I can say the same thing translates here on the islands, that Zanzibar is open for business. So if our leaders are setting that tone, there's no reason for us to backtrack. There are plenty of investment opportunities here on the island. As we go along the forum, we'll hear from the Zanzibar Investment Promotion Authority. They will highlight on some of the key investment opportunities that we have on the island, but also with our colleagues or counterparts from the Ministry of Blue Economy, which is our key policy directive at the moment. There are plenty of opportunities there, which you can all obtain the information from those respective agencies. So what is it that we have to offer as an island? Number one is our strategic location. Traditionally, like I said, we've always been a trading hub. We have been trading for almost 500 years, since the 17th century. So considering that historical background that we have, being an island that is located close to the East African coast, it provides a gateway for transshipment. And recognizing that strategic position that we have, we've embarked on an ambitious project of developing a multi-purpose port right here on the islands, all with the aim of facilitating trade and transshipment activities on the islands. But also, relatively speaking to other countries, Zanzibar is very stable. We have a very stable political environment. We have a very open approach in terms of the way we engage with people through dialogue. This is perhaps the 7th or 10th investment forum that we've had in the last 2 years. So our ability to engage, hold discussion, listen, I think these are some of the key strengths that we demonstrate and that investors appreciate, because at least now you have a place where you can vent if there's a particular issue that is frustrating the process, and you have a listening ear to provide the necessary response that is needed. We understand the existing global challenges with wars and pandemics, which is why we've decided to issue special incentive packages. All of this in order to be able to attract investors, in order to provide ease of doing business, but to incentivize both fiscal and non-fiscal incentives. And I can confess that we actually have the most lucrative incentive packages compared to many other places within the region. We understand the level of competition that's out there. We understand that we're not operating in a vacuum. So we decided to take deliberate measures that would allow for our investors to feel that I can invest, at the same time I can maximize my profit, and at the same time I can repatriate my profit without any hindrances on our part. So my job was to kind of provide welcoming remarks, but my other important activity that I was instructed to do here is to welcome the guest of honor. And so without further ado, I would like to reiterate our sincere appreciation for your kind presence at this forum, and I'm confident that our discussions today will bear more fruits and offer more crystallized ideas for ramping up high quality, high impact developmental strategies in cooperation that supports Zanzibar's investment agenda. With that being said, I would now like to take this opportunity to welcome the guest of honor, His Excellency Hemed Suleiman Abdullah, the second Vice President of Zanzibar, to address this august body. Mheshimiwa Makamu, karibu sana.
Take a seat.
Honorable Mudrik Ramadan Soraga, Minister of State in President Office, Labor, Economics Affairs and Investment, Honorable Omar Said Shaban, Minister of Trade in Zanzibar, Honorable Principal Secretary present here, Dr. Keimu Zanawe, Head of Trade Facilitation, Mr. Sharif Ali Sharif, Director of ZIPA, Mrs. Angelina Ngalula, Chairperson of East Africa Business Council, Mr. Ali Amor, Chairman of Zanzibar National Chamber of Commerce, business community, member of press, distinguished guests, government official, ladies and gentlemen, good morning to you all. Before I start, I am here to present His Excellency Dr. Hussein Ali Hassan Mwinyi, President of Zanzibar and the Chairman of the Revolutionary Council. So I will take this opportunity to present him as a directed, so I can take this opportunity to say my words. So allow me to commence my conveying my sincere appreciation for inviting me to be the guest of honor on this remarkable occasion. It gives me immense pleasure to reconnect and meet new supporters of responsible and sustainable trade and investment here in Zanzibar. I would therefore like to extend my utmost respect for taking time out of your busy schedule to attend this rather historic event. Your presence here is not only a clear testimony of how you value our Africa Continental Free Trade Area Agreement, but also confirms to us the interest you have in exploiting the trade and investment opportunity available in Zanzibar. My appreciation will not be replete if do not thank all the key organizers, Afrexim Bank, for continuously promoting intra-Africa investment and supporting the realization of the goal of the Africa Continental Free Trade Area. The Zanzibar Investment Promotion Authority for promoting investment in Zanzibar, the East Africa Business Council, without forgetting the Zanzibar National Chamber of Commerce. This combination of both public and private sector exemplifies how we can work together in commodity for the common goals and sustainable development. Dear participation and the distinguished guests, my government and the developed administration place a special emphasis on trade and investment, particularly the initiative dedicated to public and private dialogue focused on the promotion of responsible and sustainable trade and investment. Empowering individual, business, and organization to exhibit exemplary business practice and encourage collective strategy for the nation long-term viability. I must admit that I am quite interested in hearing your thought, suggestion, and valuable insight on how we can even further improve Zanzibar trade and investment climate. Dear participant and distinguished guests, Zanzibar has opened its door to both locally and international sustainable investment in support of our transformative plan, Zanzibar Development Vision 2050, for responsible and sustainable economic growth and to bring about shared prosperity. Zanzibar also believes that the influx of foreign direct investment is our paramount importance towards the implementation of other development goals set by the regional and international organizations, including the Sustainable Development Goal endorsed by the United Nations and the Agenda of 2063 that has been set by the African Union to achieve inclusive and sustainable socio-economic development, including the Africa Continental Free Trade Area. As the one of its flagship projects in Africa Development Framework. Dear participant and distinguished guest, promoting investment has been one of the cornerstones of our government development agenda. The national policy is to promote investment in blue economy. The blue economy strategy intends, amongst many, to make the best use of marine and coastal resources, as well as promote and ensure the compliance of marine conservation and management. The government also embarked on implementing mega blue economy strategy projects such as Mangapani integrated hub port projects, renewable energy projects, marine transportations, and infrastructural projects, to mention a few. We welcome all potential investors to take advantage for investing on these mega projects. While we strive to promote investment in Zanzibar, we recognize the fact that achieving good governance and having a lasting space and stability in our country is vital to our success. To this end, we here created a government of national unity and prioritize resolving our differences through dialogue and consultation. We have been working hard to promote a social cohesion among Zanzibarians. Therefore, trade and investment can further prosper in Zanzibar. Dear participants and distinguished guests, Zanzibar is a beautiful, safe, and livable place inhabited by the hospitable people. Historically, Zanzibar was and is still renowned for trade and tourism across the globe. With its strategic location, natural beauty, peace, and tranquility managed to draw the strong passion of traders and explorers from different parts of the world, including Europe, Middle East, and India, to mention a few. Zanzibar has experienced an increase in foreign direct investment despite the volatile environment brought forward by the COVID-19 pandemic. This is evidently seen from the statistic recorded by Zanzibar Investment Promotion Authority in a span of 2 years, from November 20 to date. A total of 181 investment projects with a total value of 3.056 billion US dollars, which are expected to create more than 9,000 direct jobs. Zanzibar now on the map of the most celebrated investment destination, and we will welcome you all to discover the trade and investment opportunity of your choice that is in line with our laws and regulations. Dear participants and distinguished guests, with the amendment of Zanzibar Investment Promotion and Protection Authority, Act Number 14 of 2018, the third and sixth schedule named the Zanzibar's main sisters island as the strategic investment area. Investors will be able to enjoy the benefit of strategic investment status for investment in an asset equivalent of $10 million in the following industry: tourism, fisheries, manufacturing, and real estate. I take this advantage of this opportunity to personally extend a warm welcome to foreign investors interested in taking advantage of excellent opportunity available in our country. Dear participants and distinguished guests, to conclude my remarks, I thank you for your dedication and a commitment to organizing this remarkable forum. Special thanks to the People Bank of Zanzibar for their inavailable support of Zanzibar Trade and Investment Forum. Once again, I welcome you to visit our tourist attraction and the other area allocated for investment after this occasion, to particularly see what Zanzibar can offer in tourism and investment. Before I open this I am very interested to congratulate Dr. Gemin Zanawe, Head of Trade Facilitation, for a good explanation. And I have some request for that. He's mentioned a big amount of money facilitating in Tanzania, but I request to make sure he try to see the opportunity for specific in Zanzibar. Sometimes there is some obstacle. It is not easy for Zanzibar to get that money from a different reason. So I try to see the procedure, how you can offer a specific for Zanzibar. In case of anything, we are ready, and the Minister of Trade is there for discussion and to make sure everything we go through, and Zanzibar are still on the verge of availability of that money you mentioned for Tanzania. After these few remarks, now, on behalf of His Excellency Dr. Hussein Ali Hassan Mwinyi, President of Zanzibar and the Chairman of Revolutionary Council, I now declare the Zanzibar Trade and Investment Forum is officially open. Thank you for your attention. Asante sana.
Can we continue to put our hands together for the second Vice President, who's just inaugurated the Trade and Investment Forum 2022, which aims at showcasing Zanzibar's investment opportunities. And this is what will now proceed going forward. Honorable Second Vice President, allow me to thank you on behalf of all the participants for that remarkable address that you've given, and as well as officially opening this very important and timely forum. Would kindly now request, before I invite our main sponsors to receive that certificate, to sign it on behalf of the President, Dr. Hussein Ali Mwinyi, and then I will invite the main sponsor to come to receive this certificate from you. And after that, Honorable Second Vice President, I will kindly once again request you to receive a token of appreciation from Afri-Exim Bank. After that, we shall do group photos. This will be 3 photos. The high table, Afri-Exim Bank, and then Afri-Exim Bank will be joined by ZIPA and EABC. And that will mark the end of the official opening, which will then allow you to proceed with your program. So, as I mentioned earlier, PBZ, People's Bank of Zanzibar, is our main sponsor. And may I kindly now request, on behalf of People's Bank of Zanzibar, Ms. Aziza Baraka to come to the front to receive the certificate from the guest of honor. Karibu sana, naomba tumpigie makofi as she comes to the stage. Honorable Vice President, while you are kindly still standing there, can we ask you to receive a token of appreciation from Afri-Exim Bank? May I now request Dr. Gainmore Zanawe, who is the head of trade facilitation from Intra-Africa Trade Bank, to present this token of appreciation to you. Gainmore. Can we put our hands together? Asante sana. Kindly, Honorable Vice President, take your seat. And may I kindly request the members of the high table to remain standing. May I request you to remain standing as we do the group photos. The camera, please, let's do the group photo. May I request members of staff from Afri-Exim to be ready to join the high table for the group photo. I remain guided if that has already been taken. Camera, tayari? Asante. May I request the members of staff from Afri-Exim Bank to come to the stage for a group photo. This will be followed by members of ZIPA and East African Business Council. Afri-Exim Bank will stand at the back, yes. Thank you. May I now invite ZIPA and EABC to join Afri-Exim Bank. As well as the members from ZNCC, the Chamber of Commerce. Please join this picture, and that will be the last picture. We will then allow the second Vice President to proceed with his program after this picture. Naomba picha ya upendeleo. Naomba picha mbili za upendeleo, Mheshimiwa Makamu wa Pili wa Rais. Picha ya kwanza ni wakaribishe speakers ambao watatunadi vizuri fursa za uwekezaji ambazo ziko hapa Zanzibar. May I invite all the speakers, panelists, and the last picture will be for all the investors present. So these are the two pictures requested. So the first one is for all the speakers present. Doris, can you kindly join this picture as well? Thank you. Yes. No, just join. Tugawe makundi mawili. Can we split into two groups? Imetosha. Imetokea vizuri sana. Asante sana. Naam. Na mimi ningi. Nashukuru sana. The last picture will be for the registered investors. All the registered investors. This is the last picture. If you know you registered as an investor, kindly come to this picture. We truly continue to thank you for all the, not only investing in Zanzibar, but really promoting Zanzibar as an investment destination. Asanteni sana wawekezaji wetu. Asante sana. Mheshimiwa Makamu wa Pili wa Rais, waheshimiwa mawaziri na wajumbe wote wa meza kuu, nina heshima sasa kubwa kabisa kukushukuru Mheshimiwa Makamu wa Rais, na nikuruhusu uweze kuendelea na majukumu mengine. May I kindly request all of us to please stand up as we allow the second Vice President to continue with other responsibilities. Truly thank you for your time. Can we clap our hands as he gets down from the stage? It is now 5 minutes to 11 o'clock. We shall have a 30 minutes tea break. Let's reconvene at exactly 11:25. I wish you all a happy health break. Thank you all. Ninawakaribisha sasa kwa mapumziko mafupi ya chai. Tea is served right outside this venue. So if you step outside, tea is served. We shall do tea for 30 minutes and come back for the next session. Karibuni sana, niwatakie chai njema. Naomba technical team tuje kuset stage kwa ajili ya plenary discussion. Technical team, naomba tuje kuondoa meza, tupange kwa ajili ya plenary discussion. Good morning once again and welcome back. We're going to make slight adjustments to the program. Doris? I'm happy to announce a slight change on the program. Today at 2:30 we're supposed to have a panel discussion that was to be discussing creating the conditions for growth, challenges and opportunities for the Zanzibar private sector. This session will be moved to tomorrow because Honorable Minister Omari Shaban for Trade and Industrial Development will not be able to attend this session, and it is important that it's part and parcel of this plenary. So instead, this plenary will take place tomorrow at 11:45. Meanwhile, the afternoon slot, the 2:30 slot, we shall have the 9:30 slot that was to take place tomorrow will come this afternoon at 2:30. This plenary will be looking on to improving food security, agricultural productivity, and expanding agribusiness opportunities in Zanzibar. So we've done a swap. Kindly note that those who are to do agribusiness opportunities in Zanzibar, this session will now take place today in the afternoon. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, and another announcement to the investors. May I kindly request all the investors, when you get time, since we are planning the B2B for you, identify yourself at the reception desks, the ushers at the front, so that they can book your calendar, they can take your details and arrange B2B for you, which will take place tomorrow in the afternoon. So every time we either go for break or you step out, kindly identify yourself so that they know you and they can plan your schedule accordingly. I now have the pleasure, ladies and gentlemen, for the first presentation on investment opportunities and projects in Zanzibar, to invite Mr. Sharif Ali Sharif, the Executive Director, Zanzibar Investment Promotion Authority, ZIPA. Mr. Sharif, karibu sana, naomba tumpigie makofi mengi sana. We also recognize and truly remain grateful for your support to coordinate the organization of this very important forum. Karibu sana.
Assalamu alaikum. I have to apologize because I'm not feeling well, so I won't be able to speak a lot. So instead, I will have a small video presentation for you to see, and then we'll take it from there. Kwa hiyo, karibuni and enjoy the video.